Hey everyone, it's Carolyn. Today I have another pickle pile reading for you. And for today's pickle pile reading, we're going to be focusing on how you can become more in alignment with yourself, how you can allow yourself to get in flow with the universe to co-create the life that you want. And so I decided to have you pick from different seashells today for your piles. So we have pile 1 with the broken piece of the seashell. Then we have pile 2 with the brown seashell. Pile 3 has the Shiva seashell in a heart shape. And then pile number 4 has the white seashell. So take a moment, pause the video, and meditate on which pile or piles you're drawn to. You can always watch more than one. This is a general message, meaning it's for lots of people, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. If you want to get your own personal private reading, I do sell them. You can check out my Etsy shop, or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. Everything's going to be linked in the description box down below. I'm also going to have the timestamps for each of the piles in the description box down below. If you are someone where you're drawn to angel numbers, maybe look at the timestamps and see if any of those numbers are resonating for you. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Please hit subscribe. We would love to have you a part of this family, and make sure you turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I post multiple times every week. I do more pickle pile readings like this. I also do collective readings and zodiac readings along with other educational videos to help you all in your spiritual journeys. I'm going to have more videos linked in the cards for you to watch after you watch this one. And so with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the readings. So for those of you who chose the broken piece of the seashell, I'm going to put your shell off to the side here. So for your cards, you have Tarot Guidance, card 42, Wave of Power, card 12, The Present, card 56, Vulnerability, the Knight of Cups reversed, and Ace of Wands. So I'm going to take a moment to rearrange these cards a little bit so you can see them a bit better. So with this tarot card, I'm getting a couple of different messages. I feel like for some of you, you have gotten tarot readings and you have been told certain things that you have convince yourself are not going to happen, or not true, or not accurate to you, because you are not trying to deal with them. It's like you don't want to accept them. So instead of accepting them, you're like pushing them away. And so what the universe is telling you right now with this tarot card, with this guidance card, is that tarot readings are not set in stone. Even this reading, it's nothing that's set in stone. Tarot is guidance. It's meant to help you connect with your intuition, and from there your actions get to decide the outcome. So if you get an outcome that you don't want, you're able to work with the energy of the universe to change your behavior and kind of change your destiny. And so I feel like with this tarot card here, it's indicating that for you to get in flow with the universe, you need to listen to the messages that you've been receiving. Instead of denying that those messages are true, ask yourself what about them you don't want to come true, and what steps you need to make in order to avoid that outcome. Because if you don't take it as guidance and you disregard it, that's probably going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you get an outcome that you don't want, instead of denying it, if you say, you know what, that is going to happen because my behavior, my actions, my choices are leading to that outcome, you're going to be able to acknowledge it and change it. And if it's something that you can't change, let's say it's someone else's energy, because if we're doing a tarot reading, we can control our own energy. We can't necessarily control someone else's energy. Let's say someone else is doing something in your life where you're not going to have control over what they're doing. You then have control over how you allow them to affect you, and how you allow them to affect your life with what you're doing and what you're trying to manifest for your life, where you're no longer going to let this person get in the way of your manifestations. You're controlling what you can out of the situation. I feel like that's what you need to do in order to get in sync with the energy of the universe and co-creating your life, is realizing there's things that we can do, there's things that we can control, and then there's going to be aspects that we can't control. And when we are given a situation in which we are dealing with things that are outside of our control, we accept them for what they are. We're not denying what's going on. We're just trying to find the ways that we can control the situation, so that we are still trying to correct the things that are going on outside of us. So I hope that makes sense for a lot of you who are watching this, because I get the sense that it's like you are trying to avoid dealing with something or facing with something, and that is actually not leading to the results that you want. All it's doing is making you know what's going on you feel it in your intuition, but you're not addressing it, you're not healing it, you're not fixing it. It's the same way if we broke a bone. Being in denial that it's broken doesn't solve it. If we accept that it's broken, we can be like, you know what, this sucks, but we take better care of it. We do what we need to do to allow it the time to heal. We have patience. It can be a frustrating time, but we do what we need to do in order for that bone to heal again, and then we can use it, then it can function. Right now, denial is not helping you function. And so to get in flow with the universe, you have to be open to seeing the things that you don't want to see. I feel like right now, in order to get in sync with what you need to do, you need to have the guidance to realize that your ego needs to break free, because the Fool card is one of the cards that we see here. And the Fool is an energy about going into something with no expectations, no limits, no things that are really qualifying it. And it's about being open to this new experience in whatever way it's going to affect you, not having a determined outcome. And because you're going into it almost blindly, there's no room for it to be a disappointment, because even if it's not this amazing grand thing, you didn't have an expectation for it. So you went into it just for the experience, and you learned something from it. And so I sense for you, in order to get into this energy where you feel like you're in sync and in flow with the universe, it's about not having expectations for the things in your life. This isn't saying not to have goals and aspirations, but when you are doing something, sometimes we limit ourselves with those goals and aspirations instead of just going along the journey and enjoying things and being in the present moment. And that's where it's like this wave of power. Allow the universe to take you to these things. Allow the universe to help you explore. Act on things, do what you want, but do it in a way where you are doing it because it's bringing joy, it's making you have fun, it's something where you're enjoying your experience and you feel like it's what you're meant to do. Where you feel like this is something where, yeah, okay, maybe I don't know how it's going to affect my life per se, but I feel like it's gonna be beneficial, so I'm gonna see how it's gonna affect me, how beneficial it's gonna be. Where you're not having an expectation, but you are still doing something that you feel is good for you. You're just not mapping out the way it's good for you exactly, because that's where sometimes we limit ourselves and we're like, this is gonna bring in X results. But then we don't allow it to bring in all the other results that it could bring in. And 4 is the number of stability, 2 is the number of balance, of duality, and being almost like this student energy. So you have this stable student. A student is someone where they don't have all the answers, but they're trusting that they're gonna gain it, that they're learning knowledge. And that knowledge that they learn is gonna bring a stable energy into their life. And so it's like, here you are, the student who's learning, who's open to growing and creating a stable foundation by allowing change to come into your life. In order to get in flow with the universe, you have to be open to change. And change is a little scary because that's where you have this vulnerability card. Because the thing about change, it requires trust, not only on others, but on ourselves. And the thing is, with this vulnerability card, I get the sense that it's like you want to be in control. It's like you want to have this defense mechanism where you don't allow people to see the things that you were afraid of. It's like, even when you're afraid, you don't want to admit that. I really get the sense that you struggle with accepting things and allowing yourself to feel fear. I think you need to realize that we're all human and we all have this sense of fear at one point or another in our lives. And feeling the fear doesn't make you weak. Because if you feel the fear, then you know how to protect yourself. You know what you need more defenses on, and you know how to guard yourself better because you're having that guidance. If you don't allow yourself to accept that you are fearful, you're not going to know where you're weak, and therefore you're not going to be protecting your weak spots. And that's how people or situations or things are going to come in and actually be able to use your fear as a weakness and control and manipulate you with it. If you accept that you're fearful or that you are feeling insecure with a certain situation where you are having to be more vulnerable, that's actually going to allow you the space to protect yourself better and make better choices, because you're going to be more in the present moment. You're accepting what you're feeling instead of having this denial, because when you're in denial, you're not living in the present moment because you're acting like the things that are going on are not going on. And so in order to do that, there's a lot of distractions you need to do. You have to distract yourself by others, by future things, by goals, by all these other things, instead of focusing on the present moment. I feel like some of you would really benefit from doing meditation. Some of you, if you do tarot, I would recommend to do tarot to start off your meditation and maybe pull 1 or 2 cards a day and use that to meditate and think about, and really start to break down some of these egocentric things in your life. Because when I say ego, I don't mean of the generic ego that we all think about. I mean like the ego that is preventing you from accepting the things going on because of this fear, because you don't want to be vulnerable, you don't want to be seen as weak. Because I think really that's what's holding you back right now, is your whole mindset that you're not allowed to be these things. And you really need to give yourself permission right now to feel the way you feel and to not judge yourself for it. Embrace it. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Otherwise, it's just going to be bottled down. And then it's going to come bubbling up one day and it's going to be very overwhelming. So if you start to process things now and you let go of this denial and you face them, they're not going to be overwhelming because you've thought of a plan. Right now, without a plan, you are never going to feel secure because you don't have a way to navigate yourself. I also get the sense that with this Ace of Wands, this is indicating that to get into the flow of your life, you have to go and you have to do things in the present moment, and you have to act on these ideas. You have to act on the things you want, because here you have someone lighting this candle, and so it's like reigniting that spark. You need to go and do things when you think about it. I'm also being pointed out that the candle is being lit, and so you have this light, and so it's this illuminating aspect of your life right now where you have to face the truth. You have to put some light on the things that you were denying right now, because again, I keep getting the sense of denial. That's not helping you in any way. It's not going to protect you or save you in any way just because you can't see it. Sometimes you have to know about things so that you can come up with a game plan for them. I'm also getting the sense with this Knight of Cups reverse, it feels like you are not trying to let someone see this vulnerable side of you. And I think it's like you're not letting them see it for this weird idea that you think the moment that they see your vulnerability, that you open up to them, that all of a sudden things are going to change, and that this person is going to be taking from you in some way. And I feel like someone needs to hear this message. This might not apply for all of you, but I feel like Spirit's pointing out, and this is gonna come off a little harsh, so I'm sorry if it comes off that way, but Spirit's telling me to say it. Why do you think this person's going to end up taking advantage of you or taking too much from you if you are vulnerable with them, if you open up to them? Because right now, emotionally, you're already vulnerably attached to them. Whether or not you want to admit it, that's what's going on now. So verbalizing it's not going to change anything. So if this person really was that type of person and they were really going to hurt you because you're vulnerable with them, you would have seen it by now and they would already be using you. They're not using you because that's not in their nature. And right now you're using it as an excuse to not open up with them. And really all you're doing is hurting them and hurting yourself, instead of just allowing yourself to be vulnerable and get over this ego that you have going on right now. Because this person's not a user, they're not a taker. But you're creating them to be the bad guy, to be the enemy, so you can justify pushing them away. So I feel like Spirit wanted you to know that, so that's resonating for you. If you feel like there's someone you want to open up to, I feel like some of you, this is a relationship. Spirit wants you to know, like, open up to them. Like, quit using this as an excuse and admit how you feel, tell them the truth, speak honestly with them. Now, for those of you where that's not resonating, what I'm sensing from this Knight of Cups, the fact that it's reversed is telling me it's like this is a time where there's not many offers from people in your life. This is more of a time to create your own offers, to create your own opportunities. And you do that by being in the present and reigniting these sparks, going for what you want. Some of you, I really get the sense, it's like you have these ideas, you have these things that you want, and you're not allowing yourself to go for them because they're too risky, or because you're too afraid of the outcome, or what if it fails and blows up in your face. And Spirit's telling you right now, if you want to create the life you want, you have to be willing to take some risks. You have to be the fool sometimes. I'm also being pointed out with all these symbols on this tarot card, the way that all the suits are laid out, it reminds me of the Magician card. The Magician is someone who's working with what he's got. He's got the pentacles, the wands, the cups, and the swords. He's using all these elements and he's using them to co-create the life that he wants and actually manifest what he wants with the tools that he's got. So some of you, I really get the sense, in order to get in flow with the universe, you have to be in the present moment. You have to let go of your fears, your doubts, and your vulnerabilities. You have to take a risk and do something that you want and actually allow yourself to be passionate about it and be excited for it. I feel like you don't like getting your hopes up. You don't like having these expectations. And so it's like you go into things either trying to keep yourself realistic, where you're setting these limiting beliefs on yourself, or you go into things and you get let down, you get disappointed because they didn't turn out how you expected, and then you deny what you're feeling and you tell yourself you're okay, and you push things down, you don't process them. So what Spirit wants you to do right now in order to get in flow with the universe, they want you to start living in the moment. They want you to start doing things, reignite this passion, listen to the guidance, stop being in denial, break free from the cycle, and allow yourself to be vulnerable. But they also want you to start doing meditation or shadow work so that you are realizing where this ego comes from and what the things that you are afraid of stem from. Because listening to this and getting in flow with the universe does you no good if you still have these limiting beliefs. So you have to allow yourself to figure out where your limiting beliefs are stemming from, and you have to work on consciously correcting them and moving forward where you're no longer allowing these things to hold you back. And so I feel like in order for you to get in flow with the universe, you have to do a lot of healing internally, where you accept things and you speak honestly with yourself. You quit denying things and you start to break things down and understand why you do things, and you start to understand yourself better, so that when you have moments where you are afraid to be vulnerable or where you want to repeat old habits, you are mindful enough because of the work that you have done to be like, no, I know I'm feeling this way, but I'm gonna push myself to step out of my comfort zone, to be vulnerable, to go for what I want, to not deny things anymore, so that I can actually correct this behavior and not let this pattern repeat. That's really what you need to do in order to get in sync with yourself and with the life that you truly want. Because if you don't do that, you continue to be in denial, you're never going to be able to take action on your life. You're never going to be able to take control, because everything's going to be happening to you, and you are going to start feeling like the victim and feeling like there's nothing you can do and like you're powerless. And Spirit wants you to know right now you're not powerless, but you have to start making the choices to take the action. If you don't do that, then that's never gonna happen. So I hope this resonates for you. If it did, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others. If you wanna get your own private reading, I do sell them. You can check out my Etsy shop or message me on Facebook or Instagram. Everything's gonna be linked in the description box down below. And if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this family, and turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I'm gonna have more videos linked in the cards above for you to watch next, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye. So those of you who chose the brown seashell, I'm going to put it off to the side here. So for your cards, you have card 2, Transparency, card 12, Concomancy, Ouija board, Caution, card 34, Life Force, Energy, the Page of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So I'm going to take a moment to rearrange these cards so you can see them a bit better. So something that I'm noticing right now is that I'm having a hard time like verbalizing exactly what I want to say. And I think one of the things you struggle with is the way that you verbalize things. I think when it comes to co-creating your life with the universe, I think you struggle with verbalizing things and communicating with others and feeling like you're fully expressing yourselves. And I think the reason for it is not that you're supposed to be frustrated all the time, but I feel like when it comes to working with the universe instead of against it, is realizing that you are not someone where you can exactly put your thoughts into words during a communication. But there are other things that you can create where you can express yourselves, where you can kind of share your point of view in a way where you are more connected with that feminine energy inside of you. And the reason I say that is because a lot of these cards, we had the number 2 appearing a couple times, we had the sun and the moon, we had this life force energy with the masculine and the feminine energy, and then we have your 2 tarot cards here where you have the Page of Wands and you have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And so you have this feminine and masculine energy. And the thing about the feminine energy is she is upright. The masculine energy is the one that's reversed, which is telling me it's a little bit more blocked. And so I think the reason right now you might not be in complete sync with yourself is because you are trying to force this masculine energy or these masculine traits of yourself to fit with everyone else, instead of accepting that sometimes like you're not meant to have a certain skill set, but you make up for it in other ways. And I say that because with this Contromancy card, you could be into Seashell divination. You might want to look into that and learn it, because 2 is the number of a student. But I also am sensing for you, when we think about seashells, we hear the ocean, we listen with them. And so for you, I feel like when it comes to getting in sync with yourself, it's more about listening and observing and creating with that. This Page of Wands is someone where they have that spark of energy and they create with it, they move forward with it. And again, a page is a student, so there's a lot of learning energy here. But the Knight of Pentacles is reversed. He is someone where he has messages, he has things he's going to share with others, he has plans and news. And so to me, that being reversed is saying it's blocked because you're not meant to share things with your verbal words all the time. I really feel like for you, the universe wants you to create, and a lot of you, this is very artistic. This is painting, singing, fashion even, where it's like you are expressing yourself in a way that is more abstract. I think that is really where you thrive. Some of you could be a film director, so it's not like you have trouble like with speaking necessarily, but it's just like feeling like you're getting your point across with your words is where you struggle. There's like a disconnect, and I feel like the reason for it is that you are so transparent and you have all these different ideas and these energies working with you that it's hard to just sit down and focus on one thing. Whereas when you're creating, you're tapped more in with that feminine energy and you are allowing yourself to express yourself as you feel you need to. It's like it comes from more of this abstract place where it's not about being perfect. I think you worry too much about being perfect and not letting others misinterpret what you're saying. And so it's like when you speak, you get too caught up in your head, versus when you create, that's all you're doing. You're in the moment of creating. I also sense that a lot of you, you could learn mediumship. And I say that because the number 2 is appearing a lot, and the number 2 is about being a student, but then you also have number 7. 7 is the number of introspection and reflection, and it says life force energy. So I feel like you have a very direct spirit team who is very prominent, and they leave you lots of messages, they give you lots of signs, and they're pushing you in certain directions. And so I say that you might want to work on your mediumship skills so that you fully understand their messages. Because of this card here, I feel like if you just listen, you'll see the signs. And I feel like some of you, your spirit team, like you have had people in this lifetime who have passed away that you were very connected to, that you were very close with, and they are guiding you and they are a part of your life. They're still with you. And so getting into the flow of life is being able to detect their energy and sense them around you and understand what they're telling you to do. Because of this transparency card, it feels like they're present in your life, and like they want you to really allow yourself to be fully transparent, where you go for what you want. I feel like some of you, the reason you have a hard time verbalizing things is because there's some people in your life where you are not letting them see the real you, you're not opening yourself up to them, you're not even going for what you want because you were afraid of having that conversation with them. And this isn't so much in a sense of being vulnerable with them, this is in a sense of being afraid of them judging you or not supporting you. And so it's like you avoid these topics and you continuously just tell yourself like you're still trying to find your flow with things, you're still trying to figure things out. And it's like, I feel like mentally you know what you want, you have made up your mind of what you want, but you don't allow yourself to go for it because of these other influences in your life. And that's where there's like this block, this disconnect, where it's like you feel like you can't even share good news because other people in your life aren't going to take it as good news. And what your spirit team wants you to know with getting into the flow of life, it's like, who cares what they think? Like, even if there's someone who's important to you, there comes a point where it's like, okay, I understand and I respect your opinion, but this is my life. And so it's like, you can respect someone, but that doesn't mean you have to listen to everything that they tell you you can and can't do. Because to me, it's not like they're giving you advice. Your spirit team wants you to listen to advice, because it says the wisdom of the shells. So like listening to the wisdom that you are hearing, that's actually advice and guidance to help push you in the right direction. But then there's the other side where it is guidance that is not constructive, that's not guidance that's tailored for you. It's more people's own fears and their own judgments that they're saying to you in a way to make you not do it. And it's not even necessarily that this is a bad thing for you, it's that they are afraid of what it means. And you have card 32 here. 32 equals number 5. 5 is the number of change. So you have the 2s here, so I think you are learning how to change, learning how to adapt, and that's going to help you get into the flow of life. I really get the sense that for you, when it comes to being more in sync with yourself, you have to allow yourself to create. And so aside from the things in your life that you are creating, this is also about you creating your life. That's what this reading is, co-creating the life you want. And right now, the way that you are living your life, the things you're doing, the things you're saying yes to is not necessarily what you want. That's what needs to change. In order for you to get into the flow of your own life, you need to define what you want out of your own life. And not define it based on other people influencing you, but define it on what makes you creative, what makes you inspired, what gives you this life force energy. And some of you, if you do practice mediumship, maybe connect with your past loved ones. Listen to their advice, listen to their guidance, but like do it in a way that's productive for you. This planchette here looks like it's in the shape of a heart. And so to me, it's like listen to your heart. Like what is your heart pulling you towards? And the universe is telling you right now, be fully transparent with yourself. That's what needs to go on now, is be transparent with yourself, be honest with yourself. And in turn, be honest with the people in your life and tell them the harsh truth sometimes. And it's like, don't worry so much about the result it's going to cause in your life, because it's like if you're not doing anything that's hurting others, if you're literally just making choices for yourself and other people are going to be upset by that, they're going to be hurt by it, they're going to like be petty about it, let them, because that says more about them than it does about you. It's like right now you're trying to be the peacekeeper because you don't know how to verbalize things, and it's like you don't want to do something that is going to hurt others. You don't want to do something that is going to cause issues or rifts between the people you care about. And what you're being told right now is that sometimes the student here needs to learn that they have to defend themselves, that they have to have their boundaries. And if someone is going against them in a way that's not productive, there's no shame in calling that out. There's a difference between being rude and doing things that are out of your character versus doing something that's good for you and healthy for you to set healthy boundaries. Like don't let people push you around. Don't let other people live their lives through you. Your life is your own. It's meant for you. You define it. So whatever someone else wants for you, like they can want it for you, they can help guide you, but you also have to want it. If you don't like the life that you're living for others, then it's time to reevaluate things and become transparent with yourself. I really get the sense right now, in order to get in sync with your life, you have to actually take time to listen. Listen to the guidance of the universe, what you're being pulled towards, listen to your heart. And allow yourself to realize that you don't have to be in this masculine energy. You don't have to try and force these aspects to make you perfect, to complete you. Because you can be in the masculine energy in other ways. And in ways that maybe others wouldn't define it by the masculine energy. Because when we think about the masculine and the feminine energy is being more creative and more in flow with things. The masculine energy is more about taking action, doing things. And seizing the moment, so to speak. So you have the feminine energy, which is more like calm and going with the flow of things. The masculine energy is going to be that faster paced moving energy. And so just because you can't verbalize what you want, you can use the feminine energy to create what you want, and then use the masculine energy to seize opportunities with it and express yourself with it. So you're using them in tandem. Just because someone would look at that and not necessarily say it's the masculine energy doesn't mean you're out of sync with it. And so don't feel like just because this part of you is blocked, that's making you incomplete. This might be considered a flaw by others, but it's actually something that makes you very unique, that when you are creating, you were able to feel more passionate about what you're creating because this is like your one way to express yourself. And so you put more like love and energy and compassion into it. And you really put your life force energy into it. And so I feel like for you to get into a flow with things, it's about accepting that this is not a flaw. This is something that you need to embrace because it makes you unique. And by doing that and not letting others control you, doing things for you, defining your own life, being transparent with what you want and going for it, that's going to be what actually makes you feel like you are in sync with what you're meant to do. I also get the sense that those of you where you're afraid to create, just go for it. Just try it out, because the worst that happens is it's not that good, and you keep practicing and you get better. These are all skills that you build, and so you might not be that great at them today, but with time and effort and this passion you have for it, you're going to develop it, because you're the student. If there's something you really want to do, you can learn it, you can achieve it, you can accomplish it. So Spirit's telling you right now, whatever you want, no matter how out there or wild it may seem, you're capable of getting it and you're capable of creating it. You just have to seize the opportunity and go for it. And I feel like you really need to represent yourself. I feel like you are spending so much time trying to fit in or hide behind others or do what makes others happy, instead of representing and protecting yourself. Instead of saying, you know what, this is who I am. Yes, I have these flaws, but I embrace who I am. And this is what I bring to the table, and I'm proud of myself. I'm confident, I love myself, and I accept myself. I think that's really what you need to do too. I also want to say, if you want to try words of affirmation, you can, and you can see if that helps you build up your strong suit with verbalizing things. But honestly, I feel like for you, instead of doing words of affirmation, I feel like allowing yourself to just create something while you're in a meditative state, or while listening to music. I think music really speaks to you. And so it's if you just take time, you just listen, and you create while you're listening to things, I think that is really going to help you start to break things down and understand them. It's almost like when you create, that's your own form of meditation. And you were able to have these cathartic experiences through them. And so if you just start to create, you allow yourself to be fully expressive while you create, you're going to see that it's kind of helping you unravel some things that you didn't even know you were fully holding on to. And it's going to help you heal a lot of inner wounds. And I feel like it's going to be really beneficial for you. This is also a side note, but it just popped into my head. Spirit, for some of you, is telling you these bubbles here, these bubbles represent the things that the people in your life might be putting you in, or putting these expectations of you in. And Spirit's literally telling you right now, in order to get in flow with yourself and with the universe, pop those bubbles. Burst their bubbles. It doesn't matter if that creates a moment of panic or fear for them, because it's pop that bubble and do things that you want. I really feel like there's some attachments with people in your life that you need to break free from, that you need to get away from, and you really need to do things for you. And I feel like until you start to do that and you change the way that you view people in your life and this pedestal you put them on, you're always going to be stuck in this cycle. And so really it's about removing others from this board of directors who gets to determine your life, and instead define your life by what you want and go for things you want and be creative and have fun and be expressive, and don't be afraid to fall down. It's make mistakes and learn from them, grow from them. You're a student, it's your time to make mistakes. So really just experiment right now, figure things out, and I think that's going to get you in this state where you are actually connected with the universe and with your purpose. And so I hope this resonates for you. If it does, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. I would love to have you part of this family, and I'm also going to have more videos linked in the cards above that you can watch next. If you want to get your own private in-depth reading, I do sell them. You can check out my Etsy shop, or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. Everything's going to be linked in the description box down below, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye. So those of you who chose the Shiva Seashell heart, I'm going to put it off to the side here. So for your cards, you have card 42, Reclaim Your Energy, Crystals Healing, the Unseen, card 4, Too Much is Hidden from You, and the 5 of Cups. So I sense for you, when it comes to becoming in flow with the universe and working with its energy, I feel like you need to reclaim your power and your energy, as this card says, because I feel like right now you are out of sync because you are so drained, you are tired, you are not taking any time for yourself. and therefore you're not healing yourself. In order to get in sync with the universe so that you're working with this energy and you're not hindering yourself, is acknowledging that right now you are hindering yourself and you're doing yourself a disservice because you are not taking care of yourself. You're not prioritizing yourself. You are putting everyone else ahead of you. You are giving to others before you have anything left for yourself. And so the thing is, it's great to help others. Give and take energy is a really good balance to have in life, but the key word there is balance. That's what's lacking from your life right now. That's why you need to reclaim your energy, because I really get the sense that right now you're this 5 of Cups. You are giving away your cups. You still have some energy right now, but it's running low, and you keep giving it away. You keep letting it go and giving it to others that eventually you're going to run out. You're not going to have anything. And so I really feel like for you, this is a message saying the unseen, too much is hidden from you right now. A lot of you are dealing with people in your life who are energy vampires or who are using you or manipulating you. And it's like either you are naive and you're not seeing it, or you see it and you don't want to accept it. And so you're continuing to give to them because you think that they're going to love you in return. You think that they're going to validate you in return. And yes, that works for a little bit of time. That's a temporary fix. But in the long term, eventually this relationship, this dynamic is going to reach a point in which you have nothing left to give, and therefore they have nothing left to take. And when that happens, the person's not going to have a need for you anymore. And this could be something that has been going on ever since you were young. And so you keep finding these people in your life. You bring them in as relationships, as friends. Even some people in your family could be doing it to you, where it's like you are trying to get their attention. And so you get their attention by buying it, so to speak. Not necessarily with money, but with your time, with your energy, with your help, with your resources. And you are always there supporting them, and no one is there supporting you. And that is one of the major issues, is that right now, no one is supporting you and you're not even supporting yourself. It's the unseen, it's this darkness. And so because you are really alone, you're isolated, you're not even protecting yourself. The universe has no way to protect you, because the universe can only meet you halfway. If the universe is providing you tools on how to help yourself, and you are not then using those tools to protect yourself, and you let people walk over you, you let them boss you around, you just keep giving and giving all your energy, then it doesn't matter what the universe provided. You're not acting on it. You're not seizing that opportunity. And so therefore you're not going to be protected. And so to get in flow with the universe, it's about reclaiming your energy and realizing you got to put yourself first. You got to protect your energy. That's the only way to heal. Literally, this person's putting crystals into the bag. Use this energy to help you heal. Some of you, if you have crystals, use those crystals to help heal you. Use those crystals to start putting up protection. Some of you protect your house, but protect your energy and do some energy work right now, Reiki even. But really find ways to claim back your energy and set healthy boundaries with people. Because the first thing you need to do in order to fully reclaim your energy, you have to first acknowledge the people in your life and pinpoint them on where you are giving too much of yourself. There's no shame in saying no. And I feel like that's something you need to start doing more. You need to start saying no. And you need to realize, like, hey, take yourself out of you and this person's dynamic. If this wasn't a family member, if this wasn't your friend, if this wasn't the person you're in a relationship with, if this was someone else and you were looking at it from a third person's point of view, would you still be giving to them? Or would you be giving as much to them? Because like I said, give and take, balance, that's fine. There's balance in that. So if you give to someone and then they give back and there's this give and take, that's okay. But right now, it's becoming a point where you're depleted and this person is not offering any compensation. They're not offering to help you in any way. If this was a balanced dynamic, yes, you would give to them, but the moment that you don't have anything left to give, you need to take some time for yourself, they're gonna understand. People might be frustrated, but they're going to understand and be like, no, I totally get it. And they're going to be as compassionate for you as you were for them. The people, when you pull back and say, you know what, I can't, or you say no, they're going to be the people who try and push your boundaries because they benefit from you not having boundaries. And that's the unseen here. You might not have seen it yet because you haven't said no, because you're allowing these people to boss you around. What the universe wants you to do is to start setting boundaries. And these don't have to be big boundaries, but start setting small boundaries. See who respects them and see who doesn't. The people who don't, cut them out of your life. You don't need them. And even if they are people who are close to you, who you feel you rely on right now, you will be able to have such a healthier and happier life by cutting them out, because they are not worried about you. They don't care about you. They care what they can get from you. So this is not a dynamic in which you're misunderstanding the situation or you just need to be nicer to them and then they'll finally understand you. This is someone where they don't care about your feelings, and that's the harsh reality of it. And so you need to allow yourself to see it for what it is and not have this be unseen anymore, not be in denial, not avoiding it, because deep down your intuition knows it about this person and you haven't wanted to accept it. But now it's time to accept it, and now it's time to act on it so that you can actually heal. Because if you don't do that, then you're not going to be in sync with the universe, because you're not going to heal. You're going to allow this cycle and this pattern to keep repeating over and over again, and you're going to end up draining yourself. And when that happens, it's going to be really hard for you to find that completion, find that validation, find that self-love, and that healing energy in yourself. It's not going to be impossible, but it's a much more difficult route than it is to do this now. Yes, this one might hurt, it might be painful, having to acknowledge the people in your life who are not true and who you need to let go of. But in a way, doing this now is almost like ripping that band-aid off. Whereas if you wait, it's going to become an infection and it's going to be a lot more difficult to heal. Whereas now, it's something that you can deal with, you can handle. You're strong enough to handle it. And by reclaiming your energy, you're gonna realize you're gonna become more confident without having all these people drain your time and cut you down to make themselves feel bigger. Because I also feel like some of you, it's your emotional happiness that they're trying to drain from you. Like, they don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to succeed because they're unhappy with their own lives. And so it's like they're cutting you down. They're trying to make you feel small, trying to intimidate you so that you never grow, so that you never achieve the things that you want. And it's like, why do you want someone in your life who's treating you that way? Because that's not love, that's not compassion, that's not friendship. And so it's like these people in your life, they're manipulating you into thinking that this is how relationships need to be and that everyone's dynamic is like this, but that's not true. And so in order to get in sync with the universe, you have to get in sync with yourself. You have to protect yourself. You have to put yourself first so that you have time to figure out what you want and figure out what to do and do things for yourself. Be selfish a little bit and allow yourself to see signs from the universe, because right now, all your time, all your energy is being consumed by these other people in your life that you don't have any time for yourself. And so you can't be in sync with the universe when you don't even have time for yourself. So it's like, in order to fully get things balanced, you have to stop this from continuing. And the way to stop it is by setting boundaries, watching people's actions, seeing how they react, and not listening to their words, because people can lie with their words, watching their actions and seeing if their actions prove that they are actually respecting your boundaries. Because anyone can say, oh yeah, sure, I totally respect your boundaries. Like, yeah, no, I won't do that. But then the moment that situation arises and they're tested on respecting your boundaries, they're going to push your boundaries. And some of these people in your life, they're gonna use pity to try and cross your boundaries. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, like I know you said you couldn't do it, but XYZ happened to me and I don't have anyone else and I really need your help. And the reason they're gonna come at you with this desperation is not necessarily because they're in such a dire situation, but because it's extremely difficult to say no to people that you pity. And so the people in your life are gonna use this to their advantage. They want you to pity them. They want you to feel like they're incompetent or like they can't do these things or like they need you, because then it creates this complex where you feel like you're saving them, like you're helping them, like they have no one else. And it also makes you feel guilty if you say no. And Spirit wants you to know right now, don't feel guilty if you say no, because they don't feel guilty for asking you. And so guilt works both ways. And so if they're not feeling it for you, you shouldn't feel it for them. Because someone who's actually true to you, they're going to try and find ways to balance this. So even let's say someone's in an actual bad situation where they really are dependent on you. They might not be able to give you back your energy in an exact equal way, but they're going to find other ways to help you out. Like maybe you were helping them financially. Maybe they can't help you out financially, but anytime you need to talk, they're there for you. They're supporting you. Let's say this is someone who's going through a bad situation and they need someone to vent or rely on. Maybe they have to stay at your house for a little bit. They're going to like be very appreciative. They're going to be helping you out with other things that you need. It's like people find ways to give back to the people they care about. They find ways to prioritize people who are important to them and make them feel valued and appreciated. This person's not doing that. This person's just taking from you without even so much as a thank you. And so it's like, that's when you know it's not the person's situation. That just because they're using this pity, they're using this pity as manipulation. Because there's other things they could do to show you that they're genuine, and they're not doing that. And so I really get the sense, in order for you to get in sync with the universe, you have to set these boundaries. You need to protect yourself, and you need to stop this cycle. Because no one else is going to stop this cycle for you. No one else is going to come into your life and save you from the cycle. You have to take those steps. You have to set these boundaries. You have to have the determination and the willpower not to fall back into your old patterns and give to this person just because they're manipulating you. You have to stand firm in your beliefs and what you want and your protection of yourself. And once you start to do that, you're going to start this healing, and you're going to be able to actually properly protect yourself. And by doing that, then you're going to have time for yourself, where you can connect with yourself, what you want, you can do what you want, you can be a little bit more selfish, and you can be in flow with the universe and working with its energy to actually achieve your goals. Because right now, the people in your life, they're stunting you from being able to go out and live the life that you're meant to live. And they're okay with that. They don't care. So that's something to remember with these people. It's like, they are not compassionate for you. They don't care about you. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but that's what you need to keep reminding yourself when you feel like you are going to give in to this person. Because this is not a healthy dynamic. This is manipulation, and they're taking advantage of that because they know that you're a good person. And even though you're a good person, you can be a good person and say no. There's no shame in that. So I'm sending you so much love and light as you're going through this. I know it's not easy, but I really feel like it's necessary for you, and I feel like it's really gonna help transform your life, where you feel better about yourself. You're gonna gain so much confidence and power once you finally set these boundaries and learn these lessons. So I hope this resonates for you. If it does, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also, give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this family. I'm gonna have more videos linked in the cards above if you want to watch them next. And if you want to get your own private in-depth reading, I do sell them. You can check out my Etsy shop, or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. Everything's going to be linked in the description box down below. And I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye. So those of you who chose the white seashell, I'm going to go ahead and put it off to the side. So for your cards, you have the Page of Swords reversed, the Chariot reversed, Two of Swords, Dreams, Incubation, Phrenology, Certainty, card 9, the Magic of the Kohellan Druid, and card 27, Furred and Feathered Friends. So I'm going to take a moment to rearrange these cards so you can see them a bit better. So what I'm sensing for you, in order to get in flow with the universe and co-create the life that you actually want, I really am getting the sense that you right now are doing things alone. I feel like you're independent, and it's great to be independent. It's great to be self-sufficient, but there needs to be a balance with it. And I feel like with this independence that you have right now, it's less about being able to do things for yourself and more about a distrust of others, or feeling like you can't ask for help, feeling like you don't have anyone to depend on, to rely on. And I say that because we look at dreams, it's incubation. Well, when someone is being incubated, they're being isolated, they're away from people, and they are really just with themselves. So then you have this Page of Swords reversed. And so with the Page of Swords, when she's upright, she represents an energy in which she has all these ideas. She has this creativity, but yet she doesn't quite exactly know where to put this creative energy into. She's still learning, she's still developing. And so to have her reversed, to me, indicates that there's a lack of learning, there's a lack of action, there's a lack of movement. And also with the Chariot being reversed, that ties together because it's like there's this backward moving energy, there's this stagnancy. And so here you have this certainty, and I think it ties together because it's like you were certain about what you want, but yet you don't have an actual plan on how to bring it forward, how to move forward. So you might have a lot of goals, you might have a lot of ideas, but the execution of them is not there. Or you were stuck on how to execute them because you have the Two of Swords. Swords represent the air energy. And so the thing about air, it's a very fast moving energy, it's quick. And so that means it's mutable, it's changeable. And so what I'm sensing for you, in order to get in sync with the universe, You need to allow yourself to be mutable like this sword's energy, but still be decisive, because when a sword is decisive, there's no going back. It's a sword, it's going to cut you. And so it's swift, it moves in the wind quickly, but yet it is fierce and it is bold and it stands out. And I feel like right now, you're so independent, you're so isolated, but yet you don't stand out because you're not making yourself known. And so I don't think you're embodying the sword energy, because you need to have power to wield the sword. The power of the sword does not come from the sword itself. It comes from the person with it. And what I'm being told for you, it's like the sword and the stone. To get in flow with your life, you have to figure out what is your sword and how are you taking control of it. The sword and the stone, that sword sits there, and right now, everything in your life, it's sitting there. It's waiting for you to use it, to utilize it, to come out of hiding and pick it up. But right now, you're in this incubation. You're overthinking things. You're too stuck in your own head. You're too stuck in your ideas. You have a lot of goals, you have a lot of aspirations, you're not acting on them. And so you can't be in flow with the universe if you're not actually taking any action. Because the universe, you have to meet it halfway. And so the universe can send you things to help you with your goals. If you're not planning on acting on them, you're gonna miss all these opportunities that are coming your way. And the thing is, I think the universe is helping you out in unexpected ways because you have furred and feathered friends. But the thing is, you're missing out on it because you're not asking for help. You're not utilizing others. You're not connecting with others. You're not collaborating. Because there's a certainty that you have about yourself, about your ideas. And so there's a disconnect from basically reality versus what's an illusion. It's like you're too stuck in your head. That's the main thing that's getting in your way from letting you connect with the universe and be in flow. It really feels like you're stuck, you're trapped. The good thing is there's a way to get out of this. You just need to start taking action. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad action. Right now you're stuck, you're stagnant. If you fail, if this idea doesn't work out, you're learning from it. Next time you pick yourself up again, you go and you take action, you're gonna have that in the back of your mind and it's gonna protect you. You're too afraid of this caution and this secrecy where you're not allowing yourself to experiment and to try new things. And that is what's holding you back. And so I really feel like if you allow yourself to make these dreams a part of your reality, you're gonna see all these different opportunities opening up to you. Right now, the issue is that you're so certain about things that you're becoming stubborn. And you're becoming stubborn in a way where you think it's going to happen, but yet you're not actually taking the steps to create it to happen. It's almost like you're waiting for it to happen to you, or for an opportunity to just fall into your lap. And I think some of you, you're getting frustrated because your manifestations aren't working. You're like, I believe it's gonna happen. I'm manifesting it. Why is it not happening? And what the Spirit's calling you out for right now is that you are waiting for it to happen. When you are manifesting, it's not about waiting for it. It's about believing in it and making it happen. Yes, sometimes people get lucky and things actually do happen to them and they manifest that way. But a lot of the times when those things happen, it's a coincidence that happens while someone is taking action because they're at the right place at the right time. And so for you, it's like you can't be at the right place at the right time because you're not taking that action. You're not working on other things. So sometimes you can manifest multiple things at once. And so working on one manifestation, it actually leads to other manifestations work. But it's like right now you're not actually working on any manifestation. So none of them can happen. So if you take time to take action, doesn't matter what type of action, but just take some sort of action, believe in your goals and believe that you're working towards your goals, you're going to be manifesting. You're going to be attracting things into your life, and that's going to help you cultivate these ideas into actuality. With the stream card, it says incubation. Incubation is the time where you're growing, you're creating stuff. And so there's still that little bit of isolation while doing it, but at a certain point, you get taken off the incubator. You don't need it anymore. You can thrive and survive by yourself. And so it's like, for so long, your ideas have been incubated. You've been curating them. You've been thinking about them. It's time to take a step away and realize you don't need to be incubated anymore. Now you can do it on your own. Now you're strong enough. But it's like you're afraid of the what ifs, of the worries, of the fears. And so you're not in flow with the universe because you're allowing all these things to control you instead of just doing. One of the best things you could do is like act first, think later, because you've already thought about it. And so when you're trying to think about it and what to do and what your next step is, it's like you're overthinking it. And so it's like if you just took a moment to just be impulsive for a little bit and just see what happens and then use that as data, it would be so beneficial for you because it's gonna be changing your mindset and your perspective and opening you up. And this also goes as far as trusting people. I feel like it's not in your nature to trust or to rely on people. And so you're gonna need to push yourself out of your comfort zone to do it, because I really feel like this is not something that you can do by yourself. It's like you can do it independently a little bit. Everything should be able to be self-sufficient with, but no one can be completely independent. We need socialization. We need to rely on others. And so there needs to be that balance in your life. And so it's like, don't keep everything hidden. Don't keep everything as a secret, because sometimes when you're keeping it a secret from others, you're also keeping it a secret from the universe that you want it. So be open with your ideas. Share them. Speak them into existence. Let people know what you're working towards. Be proud of it and be grateful for it. That's going to show the universe that you're actually open to it, that you're not doing it but you're not fully confident, not fully sure because you're trying to keep it from people because you don't want them judging you or whatever. It's about fully embracing it, embracing yourself, and not allowing these fears or these what ifs to hold you back, and not overthinking it anymore. I really feel like in order to get in flow with the universe, you have to learn how to surrender. You need to learn how to let things go, and you need to learn how to just take action. Just do something, just move forward. Doesn't matter what you do, but just start to show the universe that you're taking those baby steps forward. And by taking those small steps forward, eventually it's going to lead to a big result. You're going to get these goals. You're going to learn how to manifest. You're going to be co-creating with the universe. The universe is going to see you working. They're going to meet you halfway. You're going to see that you start to attract things a lot easier. But it's like right now that can't happen because you're just stagnant. You're stuck. You're waiting. You got to get out of this period of limbo. I feel like once you do that, I feel like once you break these patterns and you actually start to do something, to take action, and to get out of your own head and quit waiting, it's gonna help you feel more connected with the universe and more connected with yourself and more successful. I feel like you're actually gonna start to achieve a lot of goals, but it's like you really need to push yourself. So I feel like the main takeaway for you right now is to use your ideas and actually bring them into reality and work on them and move forward with them. Start creating these like stepping stones where you're taking these baby steps on micro goals that eventually lead to the major goals that you want. And it's like work a little bit on it each day and work on manifestation, build up your gratitude, build up your abundance and your mindset with things, and build up your confidence. And by doing that, it's gonna get you in flow with the universe where you're gonna start attracting things faster. And I really get the sense it's like you have the potential for all these great things because your ideas, you have brilliant ideas. It's just like right now there's no use for them because they're in your head, they're not in reality. And so the universe wants you to act on these ideas because they're going to lead to good results. But you got to share them with people. You can't keep them hidden because that's keeping you stagnant, that's keeping you stuck. Open yourself up and you're going to see that the universe opens up opportunities for you as well. The universe wants to match your energy, and right now you're shut off and you're isolated. And so the universe is matching that energy by not sending anything your way. If you start to make these changes where you start acting on things, you start moving forward, you start bringing things into your reality and working with the universe is going to match your energy and bring you things to help you. And so I really feel like that's what needs to go on now. Just start to make a change. Just start to bring these ideas into reality, even in small ways, and you're going to be rewarded for it. And so I really hope this resonates for you. If it does, please let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this family. I'm gonna have more videos linked in the cards above if you wanna watch them next. And if you wanna get your own private in-depth reading, I do sell them. You can check out my Etsy shop or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. Everything's gonna be linked in the description box down below. And I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye.